Let's derive the equation of a circle. Suppose we've got a circle here and it's centered at this point right here, HK. So down here, this is H. Over here, this is K. So our center is at HK, like maybe, 5, 4, something like that. But let's just keep it general, HK. And what we want to do is we want to develop a formula that will give us all of these points, right? We want all of these points that make up a circle. So let's do this. Let's take a radius out to some point, any point at all, and let's label this point as the point x, y. Right now, that x, y, this could be any point at all. It could be here, I could have drawn it over here, anywhere over here. So this is a general point. Now, this distance right here, from here to here, that's the radius. So I'm going to note that with an r. So I want to get this distance right here, and I have a formula for the distance. I've got this point and this point, so what I know is this. I'm going to write the distance formula here, and instead of d for distance, let's use r. Now, that is r, that's the distance, so I'm going to write this. R is equal to the square root of, now it goes like this, it's this quantity, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So it's the second x minus the first x squared plus the second y minus the first y squared, square root all that, and we'll have the distance. Now, for our particular case, what we're going to have is this. R, get it to right here, r is equal to the square root of, now I'll write it this way, the second x minus the first x. So this is just some general x. I'll write it as, say, x2 minus x1, but in our case it's x minus h. So let's write that. We will write x minus h. And just so we're sure we know where it comes from, the x2 minus x1, this is the second x. I'm calling this one over here the second x minus the first x. I'm going to call this the first x. I start here, I move out to there. And then that quantity gets squared, plus, now the same thing with the y's, I'll get y2 minus y1, and if I think of this as the second y, and this is the first y, I start here and move out to here, this will be second y minus first y, we will get y minus k quantity squared, square root all that. And now, here's the general formula of a circle. Instead of writing it with this square root, we square both sides. So we're going to write this like this. We're going to say that r squared is equal to this quantity, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. And just one more thing we're going to do. Here's the standard form. This is the way we're just used to writing this. This is going to be, I'm going to put this r squared over here on the right side. So I'm going to write this as x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. That's all equal to r squared. And this form right here, this is called the center radius form of a circle, because I know when I look at it, I can see the center. The center is at h and k, and the radius is the square root of r. Now, can you see what this value is going to be over here? It goes x minus something, y minus something. What I could do here is I could write this like this. Y minus negative 6 squared. So this is going to be a negative 6. And you might think of it like this. When you look at this form, just take that number, use the opposite. So negative 4, the opposite is 4. Positive 6, the opposite is negative 6. So here's the center of this circle, and the radius, that's going to be the square root of 36. And the square root of 36, I'll write it here, square root of 36 is 6.